Today I'll be reviewing Ray Bradbury Fahrenheit 451. I don't know why I pronounce it that way, but it's okay. I've heard about this book a long time ago, and I was never really interested enough to actually read it. So the reason why I read it now is because I could do it for free, because I got a book from someone. It is considered as classic, but I've heard a lot of very opposite opinions and reviews on this book. There are people who absolutely love it, just like Barack Obama apparently, and there's a lot of people who call it mediocre at best. And I would like to give my opinion on it, but firstly I would like to tell you what the story is about real quick. Guy Montag is the name of our main character, and he's a fireman whose job is to burn the books and also the houses where they're hidden in. He has a wife, but they don't really talk that much, and he lives this gray life until he meets a girl next door, Clarice, 17-year-old, who sees the world a little bit different than everyone else around him. And after he met her, he started doubting the way he lived and started questioning everything around him. I cannot tell you if I really liked the book or disliked it. I think I was very neutral about it. I can start with things that I like. I think this book is very easy to read if you're just starting to read classic books and you're a little scared that you're not gonna follow and understand them, because sometimes I have troubles doing it. Last book that I read before this one was a disaster. It was Steppenwolf by I forgot the German author, but I read it in German and that was such a headache. I really like this book and maybe I'll make a video about it too, but reading Fahrenheit after that one felt like a breeze. I think it's a good thing. I don't think that books have to be necessarily super complicated to read to be considered as classic. I do like, it's not like I do like it. The main theme of this book is censorship, and it's just controlling information that the public receives. Very gets close to the burning of the books in Nazi Germany, or whatever US is doing right now with banning all the books that they want. Not all the books though, but certain type of books. And I do think that the books are important just because most of the time they tend to make you ask questions, or they make you change your opinion on a lot of things without someone else being involved in it. Because I think during the arguments or discussions, a lot of people's egos, mine included, it gets also brought into it. But I think when you read a book and it's just you and the book, it's not very easy, but it is easier to change your opinion on certain topics. And I do think that burning books and book censorships do hurt society overall, just because you lose a lot of important information about the history, about how things are done, how people live, and overall not good. And I think most people can agree with it. The second interpretation of the book, which a lot of people didn't like, at least why I think a lot of people didn't like it, and what I also didn't like, is how the author was describing TV as, I don't really know how to describe it, because when I read the book, I thought TV and people watching it all the time was just a consequence of not reading, and it wasn't a major contributor to people's behavior and them being disconnected from each other. I guess it's similar to doom scrolling. I do think that doom scrolling is more like a consequence of people feeling disconnected and lonely, rather than being a major contributor to it. I do think it contributes a little bit, but I don't think the main problem lies in that. And I've also read the review where they mentioned that the author once commented on a woman listening to a radio while walking her dog, and I thought it was weird, and he tried to paint this as a bad thing, as like, oh, his vision in Fahrenheit, it's already starting now. I'm like, chill. She just wanted to listen to music while walking her dog. It's not that bad. A lot of people say that people read less books than they do before, and it is kind of right. Books specifically, in general, people do read more, just because there are more people who know how to read, and every day you read a lot of different things, a lot of posts, articles online, news descriptions, things like that. It's not like people are learning how to read. Also considering that a lot of people go to unis now, much more than they used to, so more people have to read like just studies for school or for uni. I do so people do read more overall. They just don't read novels and books. One the other criticism, I have two more. First is the age of Clarice. I felt it was a little inappropriately written, if you ask me. The girl next door that changes his world of view, and she's 17, and I do feel like there was some romantic tension. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a freak. Maybe I'm the problem. But I do think that there was something going on with the guy and the Clarice girl, and I did not like that. It felt so icky because you could have made her way older. Not way older, at least 21, 22, something. Why do you make her 17? She also just turned 17, as they mentioned in the book. I know, it just felt very icky. It just felt very icky. I don't like that. The other thing was also related to women, is just how during the whole book you have a lot of book references, a lot of different types of books. The only one that I can remember right now is Plato, the Republic, but just a lot of different books, and none of them were written by female authors, not even one. Also, one of the other things, like how other women are portrayed in this book, which I don't even know if it is a criticism, but at least it's something that I personally did not like, is how, yeah, you have this underage girl next door, you have this wife who just watches TV, complains to him that he needs to bring more money, we need to build this, build that, and not doing anything, just drinking maybe with her girls, watching TV. And again, maybe it is my taste specifically. I do feel like I enjoy book less if there's no good female cast. Overall, I don't think it's a bad read per se. I do think the message of books censoring being bad and people not being zombies and disconnecting from each other, I do think that it's too straightforward for my liking. I don't think it's a bad book. I would give it 3 out of 5, maybe 2.5 out of 5. I would never read it again. I don't think I would recommend it to people. But if they say that they want to read this book, I'm like, okay, go for it. Maybe you will like it. The name of the book is quite good. Fahrenheit 451. That sounds interesting. And the fact that the book burned at 450 Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Actually, fuck Fahrenheit. I don't know why it's being used. The fucking American system pisses me off whenever they have measurements that no one else fucking uses. And I think 450 Celsius is like 800 Fahrenheit.